Welcome to a new Get Ready With Me. Twitter is one of the worst apps ever invented, and it's only getting worse. It's only going more downhill, but it's crazy to me how people don't realize how much it affects their dating life, because people make up Twitter personas that A, misrepresent themselves, and B, have nothing to do with how they act in real life. I have fallen victim to Twitter personas in so many different ways. Before college, you would follow the hashtag of your school and your year, right? That was a thing. Don't know if it's still a thing. I've been off Twitter for a couple years, so don't mind me. That's how I met a lot of people, and it was so interesting. I fully went to orientation, and then towards the end, you try and match up these people with their Twitter. And I couldn't believe whose Twitter was who I met in person, which I get it, it's orientation, college, it's all new to everybody, so obviously you aren't there being 100% yourself, but at the same time, it really was you're not anything like you are online, and then for that to continue for years is crazy. I really do think it does affect people's dating life for so many different reasons. So number one, there's all these weird rules that people think following will get them a relationship. It makes no sense in the logical IRL world. I'm okay, but that's not true. One of my favorites has to be okay, being a loner is cool. I'll be honest, I would consider myself probably up until the last year or so definitely a loner. I thrive being alone, love being alone, need my alone time. There's people that are loners that that is just who they are, and that is what they do, and it's not forced at all. It's more so staying in the house makes you desirable. I'm staying in the house, I just like to stay in the house. And I get it. If you're a homebody, you're actually a homebody. That's not it, but it's the idea that you're some sort of not even kept housewife. You just be in the house, not having fun because that's desirable to men. I'm okay, first of all, why would you ever want to attract a man that doesn't want you to have fun? And then in the next breath, you talking about a girl's trip. I'm which is it? Which is it, sis? Which one are you gonna be? Because if you think your man wants you to stay in the house on a weekend, news, honey, he don't want you going anywhere ever. I like to stay in the house my whole life. You're attracting abusers. I'm not even gonna hold you. You're definitely attracting an abuser. I don't know if you can say that on YouTube, so maybe I'll blur it out, but seriously, you are. A man that thinks that's attractive is a weirdo. Stop acting like being lonely is cute. It is not cute. And I know we're going through a loneliness epidemic. Go back to my How to Attract Friends You Actually Like video, and we can try and work on that, because I feel you, sis. I feel you. But to turn what is technically a problem in your life into this cool type of it's a meme, y'all, you're playing yourself. And also you're playing your manifestations and all the things you want in life. You gotta be real that you have some fucking problems. Hey, I don't like sitting in the house by myself. Why am I just gonna try and spin it oh, this is desirability? What's most shocking is the age at which this was so popular and prevalent for my age group, how young we were, talking about being extremely codependent. My favorite one has to be, I hate sleeping alone. I bet that tweet has over 1 million, maybe even more, maybe over 20 million, because I know bitches that be retweet every night. I hate sleeping alone. It's giving very much, I slept in my parents' bed until I was 10, ew. Ew, I don't like that tweet. I've always hated it, and I always will, because it reeks of desperation. And it also kind of gives the impression, whether it's true or not, and it doesn't really matter, but it's you probably shouldn't be giving off this weird impression that you're really used to sleeping with somebody. If you're single, you sound really codependent. It's sad. It makes me so sad to see girls put that out, because I'm the impression you're giving men is either, you either sleep around, which is, cool, do you. But the thing about sleeping around and making it known, that's the problem. It's the making it known. Keep all your bedroom stuff to yourself. That is the thing. And if you want to be loud and proud, be loud and proud. But don't be surprised when you start attracting weirdos or people who don't actually like you. That's really what it is. I really don't believe in slut shaming and all that stuff. Live your life. Live your life. But your reputation and how you move is so important. And if your Twitter persona looks codependent, it's not always a good look. Another one that I don't like is, and this goes for men and women, all of these go for men and women. I have seen men talk about, I can't sleep alone. I'm like, you don't grow the fuck up. Mama's boy, like, it gives very much mama's boy. Like, what are you talking about? When I get a man, when I get a girlfriend, I'ma spoil them. Please. First of all, you're attracting bums. Like, any side of the gender spectrum, you're attracting a bum. You're attracting someone who is looking for someone to date for all of the wrong reasons. You are not, you're going to find somebody that is going to take you for a ride. And like, it's just not, don't put that out there. Do not put that out there. And it's so outdated. Like, the whole spoil, like, when I see someone tweeting in 2023 about spoiling someone, I'm like, what year am I? Like, grow up. Spoiling. Like, stop attracting people who just want you for your money. And also, it really does put out this weird impression that that is all you have to offer. That's immediately what I think. I don't think, oh, they got money. I don't think that at all. I think, oh, okay, you bring absolutely nothing to the table. I don't even think aside from money. I think you probably just bring nothing to the table, because it's like, why would I ever lead with what I can monetarily give you? And sometimes people don't mean spoiling so much in effect of like gifts and things like that. They might mean like time and attention, but also like it's giving desperate energy. Like, that is really what this is about, is like eliminating your desperate energy will get you so much further in dating, so much further in life. Like, don't be desperate. Any desperate tendencies you have, you should ignore or abolish. You get them out of here, because like, next person I'm gonna date, like, first of all, stop talking about the next person you're going to date. Ew. Like, that is also desperate. Just be happy where you are. You're not dating anybody. Like, enjoy that, stand in that, be cool with that, because it's like the next person, when I get a man, when I get a... Stop, get that off your page. Get that off your freaking page. It looks so tacky. But I get it. A lot of people use their Twitter as a way to like as personal vendettas, like subtweet, send messages to people. So like, I get it. If you're using this as revenge, like, be petty, whatever, live your life, but it's not a good look. Like, you're probably doing more harm to your current whatever you have, your situationship, than you are as far as like finding someone better and new. Like, no. Luckily, I mean, ideally, date a man that's not on social media if you like continue to want to be pathetic on social media, and especially your Twitter. If your Twitter persona isn't, you know, going to attract a man, keep men away from it at all costs. At all costs. Like, really, I'm just being honest. Like, if this is just your vent session and your diary, I get it, but keep all of your potential suitors away from Twitter. I hate to be the person to have to tell y'all this. Like, I really do. I feel kind of like bitchy when I have these little talks, but at the same time, and no one's gonna say it. No one's gonna tell you that your Twitter looks desperate. No one's gonna tell you to delete that tweet. No, well, some people will tell you to delete that tweet. Go through your Twitter and see what is like holding you back, or might be holding you back. Because if it's not really showing off your actual personality, which isn't trying to get into a relationship. Trying to get into a relationship is not a personality trait. And if it is your personality trait, I think we need to go back to the personality store and go get something new. Like, go trade it in. There are certain things on Twitter that I think have penetrated our psyches, if I'm being real, and make dating harder for us, because it really shouldn't be as hard as it is. Sometimes it is, but sometimes I'm like, are we doing it to ourselves? Cheating is the #1 example. People love to talk about cheating, and I get it, because like, does it happen? Absolutely. Is it sad? 100%. Does anyone want to go through that? No. But sometimes, a lot of us actually haven't actually gone through cheating. Some of us have never been in real relationships. Let's get to a real, like, hey, if you've never had a boyfriend and or you have never been cheated on, you gotta let it go. Because it really does. You get angry about things. That's the thing about Twitter. That's the reason I got off of it. You get angry about things that have never happened to you. You've never been cheated on. You've never been in a relationship. How have you been cheated on? How? How, Sway? How? Like, it drives me crazy, because it's built to do that. It's built to get an emotion out of you. That is what all social media is about. Like, if you don't know, now you know. Social media, the best content on social media is the ones that get a rise out of you, positive or negative. If it makes you feel something, you are most likely to comment, click, retweet, engage, whatever it is, because you're sitting in your room or sitting on the bus or sitting wherever on your phone, and you actually felt something for a moment. And what most of it is fear. And to be afraid of someone cheating on you when you are not in a relationship, when it's never happened to you, when you don't suspect someone's doing it, actually, like, have no hard evidence, what are we doing? But it really is perpetuated on there, and I think it is, like, one of the top reasons why some people are more fearful of cheating. I'm not saying it isn't something, like, it is a concern, but you should never be afraid. And that's what I don't like the fear-mongering in Twitter, especially on relationship Twitter, or this idea that there's something you can do to keep somebody from doing it. Like, it's just like, you really have to let it go. Because if it happens, it's gonna happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, there's some things that, like, hey, like, you can prevent yourself from being serially cheated on. Like, oh, he cheated on me and he keeps cheating on me and I'm still in a relationship. Like, yes, duh. But, like, if you're just waiting for the shoe to drop, it's a lot easier just to breathe. Because what are you gonna do? Self-sabotage, another thing that Twitter thrives on is self-sabotage. This one might be touchy, but at the same time, I don't think so. But I also want to get out of myself and understand that, like, you don't know what other people have experienced. So please let me know what you have experienced in real life with men's preferences. I've had a lot of conversations with men, which I will admit I do attract usually pretty open-minded men, because I don't really take shit. Like, if you can't tell, like, men don't come at me crazy with some ignorant stuff, because it's like, why would they? Like, really, like, honestly, do I sound like somebody who you can spew some ignorant stuff around? Like, no, I'm gonna be like, and they don't usually gravitate towards me. So keep that in mind. But I do think there's been a, like, extreme emphasis, especially in the Black community, about preferences, to the point where I even saw somebody who, I don't know if they were tweets or blogs, but they called every woman that wasn't a Black woman was called a preference. And I was like, okay, that's really interesting. I've never seen that before, but I immediately clocked what she meant. But I do think that men's preferences aren't as strict as we say they are online. Definitely there is, like, a thing. There is a pattern. We cannot deny it. I would say it's more so in visible communities, or I don't want to say the upper echelon, because there is definitely an upper echelon that we do not see every day. There are people that are extremely affluent that are in Black on Black couples, I don't know how else to phrase it, but black couples, Black love, that aren't advertising it because they don't need to, because that's probably what they're used to in their community. Especially from what I've seen from, like, I just started that show, what's it called? Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. And even where I'm from in Dallas, like, honestly, it's like, there's maybe, like, one interracial couple where I lived and grew up, and it was extremely affluent and all the things. So I do think, but these aren't people who you're going to see on Twitter. They're not people you're going to see on Forbes, but they're doing well for themselves and just, like, you know, whatever. Like, whatever. But I do think that the media has pushed an idea that men have these very strong preferences and that you are not it. I think it's to sell beauty products. I think it's to sell the agenda that you need to work harder for a man, you need to be more for a man, you gotta take care of him, like, we gotta have money all of a sudden, like, why do I need to be a breadwinner to get a man? We're taught since we are no longer the preference, which is complete bullshit. Complete bullshit. Because when you walk out that door and you know you look good and all these eyes are on you, go sit down, go somewhere in the city. Don't go to a park when nobody's there. Go to the city and see how people react to you. It's not that you are not the preference. It is not that you are not getting attention. That is not it. That is not it. That's what they want you to believe. That is what they want you to believe, because it's going to sell that product. It's going to get you angry. It's going to get the retweet. It's going to make you think that nobody wants you and that you have to do all these other things to be dateable in this space. Like, that's not true. I know a lot of Black men and Black people just in general, and people in general, that are very flexible with who they want to date. And it's just about, like, attraction, but also getting to know people, especially at work. When you get to know somebody and it's like, oh wait, they listen to the same podcast as I do, and oh, they're always like, I like their car, or, you know what I mean? I mean, I like their car, but, like, we just have similar interests, and they're always bringing some new dish, like, she be cooking, like I just, like, that's the kind of woman I want. You know what I mean? there's so many other things to attraction besides this like preference culture, which I just think is part of the agenda to bring us down, to separate us, to be divisive, and we need to be more vigilant about that and not feed into it. The people who win in the end are the people that benefit from Black women feeling inferior, even. I think that is a huge agenda. I think us feeling inferior, us feeling like less than, and women in general, not like take it out of the Black community, take it out of the Black community. Women in general, we have so much influence over money. Because although, you know, we aren't considered the breadwinners in the family, whatever, whatever they want to tell us about, how much money we make and all the things, like, sure, let's believe it. But we are the consumers in our households. We are the ones who decide where the furniture is bought, what food goes in the fridge. That is us. We are the consumers in America. 10 out of 10. So if the consumer of the household always feels like they need to buy something else or do something else or go somewhere else so that they are now more so a part of the preference or can bring themselves up to this imaginary whatever, it's all a ploy for our money. Like, honestly, a lot of this is rooted in consumerism, and you have to be vigilant about, like, is this just, although it's not like, hey, buy this product and you'll be a part of the preference, or is it just like very subtle ways of trying to bring you down so that you try to fill a void with a trip, a shopping trip, a new outfit, a new gym membership, a new this and that. I gotta move to a different neighborhood to go find men that which I do believe, like, frankly, some places regionally are worse. Like, there's people who live in Los Angeles and they will constantly tell you that the dating out there isn't great, but move. I'm a big fan of that. Go and move. Like, I'm just gonna be effing for real. Go to Atlanta. There are some places in the South that are not freezing cold. I promise you, you will be fine, and you will find you some men that absolutely love you. I think Twitter promotes a weird expectation of courting that is almost borderline abusive, like really dead ass. like if someone is immediately wanting to give you gifts, and I'll speak from a place of experience, the worst relationship I was ever in, like full blown abusive, not good. It started with oh, it was a dream, like everything was so like no. If someone is giving you like very expensive gifts in the beginning of a relationship, be afraid. Run away. That, especially if you do not know each other, that is the thing. It's like, it might be a different thing if it's like, okay, we've been friends for a while or something, or we've been in the same like social group, but it's like you just met this person, like they didn't know you from Tom, Dick, or Harry like 2 months ago. Do not accept that stuff. Like, I'm gonna be very, very real. It's giving Tinder swindler. It's giving financial abuser. It's giving. There's always something to it, but Twitter really does promote that, like love bombing and all this stuff. It's like love. What? You what me? After how long? I don't like that at all. Like and I'm someone who I would kind of consider I wouldn't consider that I move fast, but what are we doing is kind of like my energy sometimes, but it's not, too early. You should always be very wary because it comes off like transactional. Or starving. This person might be absolutely starving for love, and they aren't experienced enough to know that the things come in stages, and like love needs to organically grow. And it's not something you can just force down someone's throat. Also, this person could have been watching you for a while. Let's keep it a buck. Like, some people don't want to say it, but it's like, okay, maybe they've had a crush on you, whatever, and like that can be cute, but there is like a certain amount of like self-respect someone should have for themselves, that is healthy and normal, and they should, even if they feel it, they will or should hold back a little bit. I don't know, but there are some people who will get like engaged in the first like 6 months of knowing each other and like live a very happy life, but it's all about the feelings being mutual, and I don't think that is expressed enough on Twitter, of like We are moving at the same pace. We are on the same page, instead of like, oh, this person is throwing it down my throat of how they feel about me, and then kind of like expecting it back too. So I would just be wary of that, because Twitter makes it seem like you should be having a joint bank account month 3. No, it's suspicious. Last but not least, my last gripe with Twitter, and the reason I will never be back: subtweeting. Y'all gotta quit. But subtweeting has absolutely stunted communication skills. Like, it's actually crazy to me that people think that subtweeting is accomplishing anything. It's also crazy to me that people think subtweeting, like, I know that's about me. The fuck? Sometimes I'll admit, some of us are oblivious. Okay, yeah. Do I think I've caught every single subtweet about me? Probably not. But also, it's mad childish. Like, who's won in the subtweeting? It's a person being subtweeted about every single time. Like, please subtweet about me. Like, please. So then I can really just know for a fact I am rent free. Especially in a relationship. If you're in a relationship or just anything, Twitter, stop it. You need to be able to talk to somebody face to face, head on, and tell them things that make either them or you very uncomfortable. That is what being in a relationship is. That is what communication is. That is what dating is. If you just cannot say what you feel to somebody, to their face, you're probably not ready. You're emotionally stunted, and you're always going to run into the same problems with people. So I think that the Twitter culture of subtweeting is really, like, if somebody tried to tell me that they like me via a subtweet, I would never date them. Ever. I would be like, oh, okay, so you are immature and ridiculous, and this is how our whole relationship's going to be? Like, me figuring things out via your social media? Absolutely not. This is the final face, and those are my final thoughts on Twitter and why I will be renewing another year of not getting on that app, except for research purposes. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was helpful. Go clean up your Twitter. Please watch your life get better, or get off the app altogether. That is my advice. Other than that, let me know what other dating advice you'd like to hear from me, chats, topics, whatever. I definitely want to get into more content videos. I will also be doing like an update. This is obviously not my everyday makeup routine because I don't have that kind of time, but I will be doing an updated everyday makeup tutorial as well. That'll be like proper showing you all the techniques and products that I use. So look out for that. If you like this video, don't forget to leave it a like. If you like me, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to see more of me, you can always check me out on my Instagram, my TikTok, my Pinterest, which are all Ivana Brooke. Bye.